race. Time flies when you talk and talk and talk. So the race is probably going to wrap up around 30 minutes. So the men are just past the halfway point here. You can probably expect a time of 30 to 30, 30, 30 flat to 30, 30. It is a nice day on Fort Henry. It hasn't rained very much. We've seen this course be a whole lot muckier in the last few years, a whole lot colder, more wet. There's a bit of wind. The wind is a bit tough. It's a bit chilly, but at least the course is dry and is pretty responsive to runners. So look for track runners, perhaps not the mud grinders, but the pure track runners. And I'm kind of looking at Kieran Lump here to make a statement because this is not a mud race. This is not a mud heat. This is a quickly, tightly packed course where people can actually run fast on today.
Charles Philibert Thibouteau me disait ce matin qu'il aurait espéré un jour pouvoir courir sur ce parcours dans les conditions d'aujourd'hui plutôt que dans les conditions qu'on a vues dans les années passées. Parce que là, ce matin, il trouvait que c'était les meilleures conditions du parcours. Il aime beaucoup ce parcours. So, Charles Philibert Thibouteau said to me this morning, he said, I would have liked to run on the course as it is actually right now. The weather has been so good. So he was hoping, for his former school to do well, but he thought I would have liked certainly to try this course in today's condition.
Yeah, Charles Philibert Thibouteau qui était troisième au championnat national, je pense peut-être en 2017, en arrière de Eric Gillis, qui est maintenant l'entraîneur à Saint-Félex, et Luc Bruchet. Donc, des bonnes prestations pour Charles sur ce parcours. I think Charles Philibert Thibouteau was featured in the 8K race this morning, the community race. I'm not sure how that went, but flipping our attention back to these runners, I'm seeing a few unfamiliar faces at the back of the pack. So Isaiah Freeling sits right now around perhaps 40th, 50th, and that's not a really common place for him. He was fifth last year at the 2018 Usports Championship, and he was the runner-up at OUAs. So it doesn't look like he's having the day that he's looking for.
In this part of the course, dans cette partie du parcours, il y a quand même un peu de vent, mais if you look at beside the course, if you look at the grass, it doesn't seem to be moving too much. So the wind seemed to have died down since this morning earlier.
Well, it's probably the calmest part of the day, mid-afternoon, probably the warmest part of the day as well. So just saw Jacob Benoit pass probably in 60th, 70th. So he was the AOS Rookie of the Year. So it's another athlete perhaps who's not having the day that he's looking for. If someone on Twitter or is following sees this Guelph athlete with the backwards ping hat on, please identify him because I do not recognize him. I'm guessing it's either Callum Delaney or John Perrier because they are usually familiar faces. Or they're not familiar faces for someone who's been in Usports for the last 3 or 4 years. They're young men, and they've made an impact quite quickly. But right there, as I say it, this athlete is nearing towards the lead.
Alors, on voit quand même un très, très grand groupe qui mène et c'est un coureur de Guelph, celui qui porte la casquette à l'envers actuellement. On va essayer d'identifier le dossard. Il est tout juste à côté de Pénoc devant Desgagnés et il semble très, très confortable. Celui-là, actuellement, même va prendre le virage en épingle le premier. Donc, on va essayer de l'identifier le plus rapidement possible.
And we got him. On l'a. Jeff Tweedle, thank you.
Bon.
No, that's not Jeff Tweedle. Jeff Tweedle is sending you the text. Sorry. Jeff Tweedle, I think, is watching from Hamilton. He says, Callum Delaney. He is the Guelph guy in the pink lid, he said. So thanks, Jeff, for letting us know. Callum Delaney, again, started this year not really knowing who he was until I was made aware of Callum Delaney when I was speaking with Mike Tate. And I said, so who are you doing workouts with? He said, Callum Delaney. I said, who's that? He says, I don't know, but he can keep up with me in workouts. And he's a young guy, so great progression for him. He's a 19-year-old, had an 8:39 3K PB, 14:55 5K PB, and has made massive jumps. So Callum, we're wishing you luck and congratulations on these great jumps this year. We're going to be watching for you.
Alors, Callum Delaney, le dossard 62 de Guelph, est le coureur qu'on a essayé d'identifier avec la casquette. Donc, comme Alex disait, c'est un athlète qui a fait 14,55 l'été dernier sur 5000 mètres, mais qui est présentement en pleine progression. Donc, il est avec le groupe de tête et c'est quand même une des surprises jusqu'à maintenant de cette course.
So
On va
22 minutes
maintenant,
in.
oui, on arrive maintenant dans une des descentes et on voit très bien ici le groupe qui s'amène qui est quand même très très compact encore. Alors, est-ce que Delaney est toujours parmi les meneurs? Oui, la casquette, donc 62 à gauche, il est avec le groupe de meneurs. Il y a également 148. Si on regarde bien, 148, c'est Mitchell Delange de Queens. Et 35, c'est avec Matthew Travellini, celui que vous avez identifié parmi, si on veut, les négligés de cette course, Travellini.
So Travellini has quite the story. He's an engineering student at Calgary. 29:38 is his 10,000 meter PB on the track. Actually ran for Saucony and used to run for Windsor. Like I said earlier, he was the CCAA, so the Canadian Collegiate Athletics Association champion in 2008. Runner from London, Ontario, who is really propelling Calgary to that next level. So it's like there are three people leading, and who is it but Josh Martin from Windsor, kind of leading this right now, and I'm not sure anyone could have predicted it. They saw him finish 86th last year, but Martin has gained fitness this year. He's put in a great summer of work. He's been pretty active on Strava and just logging in consistent mileage. And, he wasn't a flashy guy. He's not someone who has crazy track PBs, but he's a hard worker, and now he's leading Usports.
So when someone is going in the lead at this stage of the race and is not supposed to be there, supposedly not supposed to be there, you can assume that the other guys in the back are either A, having a hard time, or B, just taking it easy and waiting for something else to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josh Martin is a strong runner, a good runner, but he is not a runner who has yet gained all the respect from all the other athletes, and that's definitely not a personal thing. It's just looking at past results. So I'm sure the runners behind him aren't scared to let him go because they think they can reel him in, but sometimes that strategy backfires. You'll have someone like Kieran Lum who thinks he has more speed than Martin. Perhaps he does, but you can't let him go too far. This is when champions are made. This is when things happen in a race. So if someone was to tell me that Martin was leading right now, probably wouldn't believe it. But you never know what's going to happen. We're getting close to 8 kilometers. You see at least 3 Calgary dinos. Russell Pennock, Matt Travellini near the front. Stefan Daniel is just trailing the pack a little bit. He was the Canada West champion. So we're looking at Daniel here to have a strong finish. Of course, silver medalist at the Paralympics. So such an accomplished athlete. Runs for Nike, actually. So I think he is running perhaps nearly in 15th place, so just outside of an all-Canadian spot. And we're anxious to see the front again. There is, it's like Mitch DeLange is leading up the hill as well as Kieran Lum. Kieran Lum has such a strong stride, and he looks so comfortable up the hills. I believe Lum has a bit of a mountain running background.
We can start seeing a separation in the hill here, and Jean-Simon Desgagnés, qui semble en difficulté, vient de voir le groupe de tête se détacher dans la côte et il n'est plus parmi les meneurs. Donc, Desgagnés détaché. Donc, il y a un groupe présentement mené par... c'est un coureur de est-ce que c'est un coureur de Queens qui mène présentement?
Mitch DeLange, still from Queens, leading.
Bon, qui mène. Et donc, il y a actuellement, là, Alex, 5, 6, 7, 8 coureurs qui se sont détachés, si je compte bien, là. Ouais, c'est ça. Il y a 8 athlètes présentement qui sont détachés du groupe.
8 runners ahead with about 4 minutes to go. And let's remember that the top 6 athletes who declare, so in other words, who choose that they want to go, get to go to FISU, so the International University Championships. The top 6 athletes go. It's common for some athletes to not go, deciding not to forego a track season, but the top 8 right now, there's Mitchell Eubine in there. Alex Drover is chasing quickly in 9th. I would like to get another quick look at them. And Jean-Simon Desgagnés does not look that strong in 15th place right now.
Il est en difficulté présentement, Jean-Simon. Et on voit là, c'est celui-là, 86, Tedeschi, qui semble assez confortable. Mais pour le moment, là, ça se passe à 8 coureurs devant. Et je veux mentionner que, comme tu l'as dit en français, en anglais, je veux mentionner en français que les 6 premiers coureurs de cette course peuvent être sélectionnés pour les championnats du monde universitaire de cross-country qui vont avoir lieu au Maroc, à Marrakech, au mois de mars. Donc, c'est quand même un enjeu au niveau individuel qui est intéressant pour les premiers coureurs de cette course actuellement.
So now with these, I think there was Alex Drover kind of making a charge at that lead pack, but there is quite definitely a pack of runners. There's about maybe a kilometer to go. Let's try to identify them all here. We have Kieran Lum, we have Mitch DeLange, we have Russell Pennock, we
Quoi?
have Matt Travaglini, we have Mitch Ubeen who's charging near the front, Josh Martin who's hanging on.
Dis ça à Matt, c'est moi. Moi, je l'ai fait, ma part.
6th or 7th place from McMaster. But right now, from a team standpoint, it looks like it's going to be Calgary. It's going to be tough to beat. So right now we have Kieran Lum, we have Mitch Ubeen, Russell Pennock in 3rd, Mitch DeLange in 4th. Max Turek is there too. So seems like Matt Travaglini, Max Turek, Alex Drover, and Josh Martin. That's your top 8.
Look how the leader now is pushing hard, going down the hill.
Yes. I think I see in 9th and 10th, I see Callum Delaney's pink cap, 9th, and Andrew Davies, who's just a sophomore. Both of them are sophomores, are rounding out the top 10. I think I see Royden Radowitz in 11th. Stefan Daniel is still hanging on for 15th. So I think Calgary may be the first team to have 3 guys through. We haven't seen Mark Patton yet. He usually is a contender in these races.
So with about, I would say, 2 minutes to go in the race, maybe, something like that. Look at the push right now in front.
This is Kieran Lum, and this is what we were saying. If the 1340 version of Kieran Lum shows up at this race, he will win, and this is what is happening. The only person who looks like he's responding to Lum's move is Mitchell Ubeen, the OUA champion of this year. Ubeen has had an incredible breakthrough in the last few years, but simply does not have the track pedigree of Lum. So I think Lum is going to be hard to pin down here.
Oui, Kieran Lum de la Colombie-Britannique là, qui vient d'amorcer une poussée assez importante. Et donc, on a ici un coureur qui a déjà fait 13 minutes 40 sur piste cette année. Donc, on voit ce 13 minutes, ce niveau de coureur, là, 13 minutes 40 qui est propulsé en avant. Et en l'espace de peut-être moins de 400 à 500 mètres, il a vraiment décroché tout le monde. Et on va voir s'il va pouvoir maintenir la cadence jusqu'à la ligne d'arrivée, mais je pense que le mal est fait et que maintenant, on va se battre pour les 2e, 3e, 4e places en arrière de lui.
Quel dernier kilomètre, Kieran Lum. Lum is familiar with the Fort Henry course, and he's had some success on it before. He is the 2017 Canadian Junior Champion when he won this in a commanding fashion 2 years ago, and here he is again looking so strong. So here we see, again, Mitch Ubeen probably has about Lum maybe has about a 10-second gap on Ubeen. Ubeen is running quite well and is responding to the move, but that's a tough move to cover. Let's see who's in. I think Alex Drover and Russell Pennock are fighting for that bronze medal. Pennock was 3rd last year, so see if he can hop on the podium 2 years in a row. That's a very difficult thing to do, especially with the depth of the fields now.
So this is 2nd place here, just went in the turn.
Mitch Ubeen and
then now we have
Pennock, Drover, Travaglini in 5th. 6th is Max Turek. Here is Mitch DeLange in 7th. And again, these 2 spots are on the line. Josh Martin in 8th. He is being hunted down by Callum Delaney and Andrew Davies. That's your top 10. 11th here, I believe maybe John Perrier. Don't quote me on that one. But 12 is Stefan Daniel. 3rd is...
This is the first Quebec guy, Félix Lapointe-Pilote, right now having the race of his lifetime.
Wow.
Félix Lapointe-Pilote là, qui court sa meilleure course jusqu'à maintenant. Et vous voyez, on a vu précédemment Jean-Simon Desgagnés.
50 secondes plus que Burchett l'année passée.
Thomas Windish aussi qui va s'amener bientôt.
Donc, the winners are Kieran Lum 1, Mitch Ubeen 2, 3 for Russell Pennock. That's 2 bronze medals in his back pocket. Travaglini 4th, follows his teammate. 8th is Alex Drover, young guy on the scene. 6th, Max Turek. 5-6 for McMaster. Josh Martin 7th, first team All-Canadian. 8 is Callum Delaney. 9, Andrew Davies. 10 is Mitch DeLange. 11, Guelph as well. 12, Stefan Daniel. This is going to be a close race for the team. 13th, Athlete UBC. 14th grabs the last All-Canadian spot, Lapointe-Pilote. 15, Rob Kenko. 16, Royden Radowitz.
There's Jonathan Tedeschi and Jean-Simon Desgagnés. Laval has got 3 guys in, but Andrew I think Peveril. It's not going to be enough.
Andrew Peveril, the top AUS athlete.
Kevin Robertson.
Tyler Dozy.
Thomas Windish.
What a strong finish, and this is about 20 athletes. Here's Mark Patton, 21st. I don't think he'll be happy with that one. Matthew Hope, I believe, from Alberta, 26th.